Question: is it a principle from the nation or a principle from Islam that the Muslims do not engage in politics?
I mean, listen, and one of a brother, man, he gave a nice answer on one of your threads, and I see where he was going with this answer, and I'll add I'll add what I think too. Just the word siyasa, like he was breaking down basically the word siyasa. It comes from that word sasa, which basically it breaks down the meaning of to take care of something, to take charge of something, to be in care of something, right? So we know that when people say politics, we get so scared because democracy rules the mindset of what politics is across the globe. So as soon as we say that, everybody thinking, oh no. You think about Democrats and Republicans. You're thinking about these particular things, right? But if you look at it, the root word of it, to care and take care of something, my question would be, show me any group of people that existed anywhere on the planet or any time period that didn't have a political body that maintain and take care of their own affairs. Okay? So what I'm saying, now the question is, if you're in a country like America, and most of the Muslims we're talking about are native or indigenous to America. They're not somebody from somewhere else. They live here. So now you're telling them that they can't get involved in what you deem to be politics in your mind, because you're only basing off a Western concept of politics. Okay? And you're saying they can't get involved. So how do they make any changes where they live if they don't have a voice? You understand? So situations like politics and things like that, can you get in? Can you get involved? Wouldn't this be a fiqh issue? Not unless they're going to make it an Aqidah issue. Now you got to bring me evidence this is an Aqidah issue. Is it? Or is this a fiqh issue, a life issue, dealing with the gray areas of a situation in your life, the ups and downs of what's going on in your society? So a lot of times you'll have people basing saying, oh, you can't get involved in politics. Well, Sheikh Albani said you can. Other scholars said you can. Some scholars said you shouldn't. But are their words and are their statements law in this situation? Or is it that we look at everything they said and then look at our situation and then bring the correct approach to our condition? I'll give you a prime example. And I always take it back to our roots and our indigenous history, because we are the people, whether we're Muslim or not. We've always been here. So when we had voice in the country, okay, the 1800s, when we were in the parliament, when we had our own political bodies, we had Negro Wall Streets everywhere. We had banks everywhere. We had a voice. Not the history they teach you in school. We were in charge of our own affairs up until the 1920s. When you lost that, and now you got, because most of us were part of the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. When you lost that voice and lost those political moves, look at your situation now. They bombed all your cities. They took all the gold out your banks and put it in Fort Knox. They moved you into the urban areas. Now you have no economics. You have no voice. And look what happens to you in the country every day, Muslim or not. So in these types of situations, does it make sense not to have some type of political voice? I'm not talking about voting for Trump or Hillary. I'm talking about local town governments, local town halls. I'm talking about local councilmen, aldermen. Should we not be involved and engaged in that? It doesn't make sense to sit in the dark. And the thing is that, and the reason that a lot of people don't want to send that is two reasons. I'm sorry, people may not like this. Number one, our population is a lot greater than they say. There's no way we're only 40 million or 45 million. We was 40 million in the 1900s. What happened? We stopped having kids? So our populations is somewhere 68 to 80 million. My estimates from what I'm researching. And it might be higher than that. So if you get us involved in politics, things start to change in our direction, because now we have a voice. We have political power. And we can make things change. Now you just can't run roughshod because my voice now changes the direction of where things are going. Okay? So then you ask your question. The Muslims are a minority of a minority, resource-wise. Even you go with population, the Muslim indigenous people are a minority out of a minority. So you separate yourself from your own people, which is a minority in resources. And then you separate yourself from any type of political situation in the country as a minority of a minority. How does that make sense? Tell me. How does that make sense? If Islam came to bring me common sense and to bring good and benefit, then how we're not able to look at our own situation in the country, have our own people look at it, brothers who went overseas, spent 15, 20 years studying, got degrees in Sharia and fiqh. You telling me y'all can't come together and look at the situation and say, hey, this is how we should be moving?
So basically, it's a misconception to believe that the Muslims don't engage in politics. That's a misconception.
I mean, clearly, to me, how can it not be a misconception? Now, if you're talking about taking bribes, if you're talking about the politics of how they're moving inside their own democracy, and we know the negatives of that, then that's different. When Sheikh Albani and other scholars say you can get in the parliament, they said the things that go with Islam, you do, the things that you don't do. It's not everything in the government here that's not Islamic. Everything is not Islamic. Subhanallah, it's more things that's permissible than it is haram in life, period. Because everything's halal until we find a proof that it's haram. So scholars have been debating politics and debating this issue forever. And you can find arguments for both sides. So what do we do in a situation where we're weak? Where we're weak, we don't have any resources, no economics, no power in the country. We just sit around and do what? Sit in the masjid and just open up books and read books all day? Or should we get involved in what's going on in the society? I live here, and guess what? Ain't nobody accepting me nowhere. I can't just get up and go somewhere. I'm home already. I gotta make this work. I gotta make this work. Come on, man. Let's stop playing games, man. Like we playing, man. We playing. Let's be real. Let's be men. We gotta make this thing work right here, because ain't nobody else accepting us nowhere. You can't just get on a plane and go to Africa, brother. Saudi, brother. You can't. Most people can't do that. You home. Make it work. Stop making excuses and complaining about it and make it work. That's it. Make this thing work. Because at the end of the day, you ain't got nowhere else to go. Nowhere else is home. I was in Egypt 10 years. They sent me home. Why? Because my home is America, not Egypt. So I'm already home. So let's look into the situation. Let's detail the situation. Let's take a look at what we can do and what we can't do. What's okay to do, what's okay not to do. And move on something, because you ain't moving on nothing right now. You're on the couch watching XFL. Let's keep it real. You ain't doing nothing right now. And you got scholars that say it's permissible to get involved in some of these things. Look at their proofs. Look at what they said, how they said it, and can you apply it to your situation and move?
And stop caring about what somebody else might say.
What somebody else might say. Who cares what they saying? Because 10 years from now, they're going to be still sitting on the couch with no voice, no power, and broke. And broke. Still calling somebody a deviant. Okay, Aki. So at the end of the day, I'm saying research. We got brothers here. That's tough and strong. So let's see what's up and research. You know what I'm saying? Get those brothers to research. I don't know anything about those Sharia points like that and those affairs. So I can't be the researcher. But what I can do, I can look up situations myself. I can look up the statements of the scholars. I can look up things. I can look up historical things, because history plays a part in decisions too. Look at your situation in the country. Go in fiqh books and say, okay, I'm looking at these fiqh issues and I'm saying, well, how does that apply to me? At the end of the day, people, stop letting people tell you you can't be involved in your own homeland. They lying. You can be involved in your own homeland.
It's countering.
So you telling me I can take my resources to somebody else's land and make them rich? But I can't make myself wealthy and strong and the people around me in my own homeland? That don't even make sense. They don't even make sense. And I know people may not like it. I'm saying it don't matter if you like it or not. I'm not saying this for nobody to like it.
52 fake out.
At the end of the day, I'm being real. You telling me not to get involved at all. Damn, I can't get involved by block captain? That's politics. I can't get involved in an alderman, the city council. I can't go to city hall and talk to them. I can't get a bunch of people together in my neighborhood and have a block, a voice, and then go downtown. Now I ain't talking about protesting. I'm talking about going to talk to real people in their office. And we got economic strength. And then we start now with the economic strength able to now put money up, and now we become viable. And now when we go speak at these town halls and these city halls and these aldermen and these congressmen, when we go to DC, they got to listen. Because you know why? My wealth is generating taxes for their pocket. My money is generating wealth. They got to listen now. That's politics.
That's politics.
Let's keep it real, man. I mean,
Gordon.